They clearly have moved on. I did locate one of the chaps today, whose name I mentioned, who used to be there. He's now been housed in Congleton, so hopefully that those issues will reduce. With regards to the CCTV, yeah, certainly the police, we're more than happy to work with the CCTV. I'm happy to speak to the CCTV to see if there's some more dual working. But certainly it feels, and it may not be the case, but you may not be the case, and if that's right, please tell me. It feels like the issues have reduced massively, because there certainly doesn't seem to be the SB in that location next door. But I'll certainly look into it when we get back.
Sarah?
It's just really to ask about local police on the streets. We've lost out here today, we've lost our PCSO. I have done a bit of digging around and found 2 people recovering. But if we could keep us updated on who our local body is, for want of a better term, that would be really helpful. There does appear to be some good statistics there with serious crimes, but the lower level, although actually the domestic abuse figures is in it's a quarter success rate, would you say?
It's 25% of the benefit of justice.
Yeah.
So that
What happens to the other people?
well, they make up the crimes. So,
Yeah.
for example, when an officer turns up, it may be a third-party report, it may be a malicious call. So it's 25% of incidents accountable to justice. But, I mean, it doesn't necessarily, it doesn't mean that 75% somebody gets away with it.
Right.
It may, there may be other areas in that case. So there may be offences, there may be crimes.
Thank you for explaining that. And sort of less, what we might regard as less serious crimes, antisocial behaviour, crazy neighbours, considering of the local park and so on. What other, well, I don't suppose you have any, I don't think you've got any statistics for that, but could you just remind the public the best way of doing that? Because I frequently say, please bring the police, because otherwise you've not got a record of it.
Absolutely. If there's ASB I'm a deputy commander, but essentially I'm a neighbourhood police officer. So neighbourhood policing is my passion really. So what I would say to the members of the public, if you have people ripping up parks, I take that very seriously. So you make sure you ring us and we'll do something about it. 100%.
And is that a 101?
Unless there is that threat harmonious where somebody's immediate threat to essentially life. But yeah, 101 or online reporting, I think that's what
I do remind people on Facebook, but it's good to have the back, so thank you.
we have a policy in Cheshire where there's a 72-hour callback. So if you report an ASB incident, within 72 hours, our pledge is we will get back to you. That's the gold standard. We're hitting it most times. If we don't hit it every time, I apologise, but that is what we are trying to achieve. 72 hours, we will get a call back to say where we have recorded this incident and this is the person who's going to be dealing with it. 72 hours.
Lovely, thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. David?
Thank you, Mayor. I've been a councillor now for 6 years, I think. I've been asking for 6 years, I think, to have mobile phone numbers of the PCSO, because we haven't had people there. And it was always promised, but never happened. My point I'd like to make is about outside the schools, particularly in my area, we have Marlborough School and Trimington High School. I'm not being rude, I promise you, but if we say something to traffic enforcement, they say, oh, that's a police responsibility. And if we say it's to the police about the traffic, they say, oh, well, you have to get in touch with traffic enforcement. They sort of pass the buck backwards and forwards. I would like to see, rather than a very occasional officer or lieutenant going around sort of advising people not to park on corners or whatever, we'd really like to see them just get tickets. I don't know how it's organised or whatever. And also, finally, to go at the right time. I mean, we have people sitting outside in their 4x4s with the engine
Thank,
Thank you, I'll take that.
thank you. I wanted to share a little story. I wanted to say, excuse me. Oh no, oh yes, sorry. I told you, my head's all over the place today. Thank you for all your hard work. Whatever you do, there will always be somebody who isn't happy with what you're doing. You know, there are some people in this world who are only happy when they're moaning. But I am very grateful, as are all the councillors here, for all the hard work that is done to keep Maxfield a safe place. And I know that we have really, really fab police officers. I was having a conversation with Fiona this morning, and we spoke about the parking at the football ground. And parking's a problem all over. I am Titherington Ward with David and live near a school, and you know, how very dare I want to get on or off my drive at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Who do I think I am? But Fiona mentioned that the PC on South Ward, James Jardine, who Brian referenced, did a fabulous job at the weekend and does a fabulous job and works really well, and she's really thrilled, which is really great. And James Jardine, weirdly, is a friend of mine I know from outside of this. And I was in town earlier with my husband, and James Jardine walked towards me. And I said, hello, how are you? I've been talking about you this morning. And as I was talking to him and one of his fellow police officers who were not working today, somebody walked past them who they recognised, who was missing. I don't know what the phraseology is. And there was a warrant for their arrest, and they hadn't been able to find him. James gave me his shopping and went with his friend and went after this person and arrested them. And he's now been... So the dedication and commitment shown by your police officers, even on days when they're not working, you know, is something, frankly, to behold. So thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much for raising that. Again, I'm quite passionate about policing as a whole, so I'm really proud of James. James is a great, he's a nice person.
He's a lovely, lovely chap.
He is, and we're really proud to have James in our team. So I will certainly be taking that back, and we'll really for that place for him.
Fab. Thank you very much. Yeah, all good. Lovely. Thank you. Can we just take a break for 2 seconds? Can we? I need to do I've been asked to do a technical check.
Can you check the microphones are on?
Because mine certainly wasn't.
That one wasn't. So can we just check they're all on? And can you check? Because I don't know when they're on or off. Can we check? Because that one didn't.
No,
Does
this
it
one.
now?
Yeah, it's got a blue light
It
on
does
now.
now.
Does that have a blue light on? Can you hold the button down? Which one? The on-off button. Yeah.
The blue or brown?
There should be a blue light on there. That bit.
Is yours on? You can.
We haven't got one.
Oh, well, what's that then?
It's conspiracy to cut me out.
Oh,
Yeah. We're all on?
all on.
Schools.
Yours on, Chris?
Yes.
Yours on.
Theirs is flashing.
It flashes a bit, then comes on. Or just lean over to Chris.
Okay. Thank you.
Form present is it on the form?
Okay. I will move on to 7.2, which is Will from Citizens Advice.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, Will.
Indeed, I'm Will Card, Citizens Vice Church North, and I'm here to talk to the report which hopefully will have the opportunity to look at covering November to January. It does overlap a little with the previous report, but hopefully the information that it contains still makes sense. As far as activity, there's a little bit of a summary that goes in the report. It makes the point that across that period is Christmas, and Christmas for us often sees a reduction in the numbers, and that is sort of reflected, not massively, but it's sort of reflected in the report that hopefully you got in front of you and the report that preceded it for the the 3 months that I was reporting on, we saw 751 unique clients. And I know I probably repeat this every time I talk about it, but those some of those clients we would have seen more than once, but they only get reported once. So as far as contacts are concerned, considerably more. So it was 751 unique clients that we saw across that period. And that brought just under 1,700 different unique problems. So someone loses their job, that's an employment issue, but it's also maybe some welfare benefit issues, there, some debt issues and those kinds of things. And we maximised income to just over 620,000 when we compare it with the quarter before. Actually, the numbers are down, so we would have seen fewer clients by 35, and that was a reduction of 10 issues, although, which is often the case, the amount of money that we brought in for clients, even though there were fewer clients, was increased by 7,000. Like I said, sometimes you just know rhyme or reason for that. The main issues, as demonstrated in the report, are welfare benefits, and that's, again, I've probably said it many times, is that because it's what I refer to as a pervasive issue. It comes into, for a great many of the presented problems that a client will have, it is either a welfare benefit issue or it will have a welfare benefit issue. Like, for example, someone's been dismissed and they want to know it's a fair dismissal, we will help them with that employment issue, but then we will help them clarify what their entitlement to income replacement benefits are. Similar to the relationship breakdown, we will help them with the legalities of a relationship breakdown, but then if they've had to move out of the family home, then there may be issues around, again, income replacement, so it pervades into that. So, so welfare benefits, for the quarter just gone, we saw 823 issues. There were 56 applications to for charity of one kind or another, 237 debt, 135 housing, which again I know said many times, housing has now replaced within our service employment as being the third highest issue. Some of that's disrepair, but a great amount of it is access to housing. Relationship breakdown was 76, and employment. The case studies, what we've tried to do is give an overview, an indicator of the kind of issues that we deal with. So there's one about welfare benefit and maximisation, one a neighbour dispute that we don't see that many of, but a neighbour dispute, welfare benefits, debt, employment, domestic violence, and the ever-present issue of cost of living. If there's anything else, anything of any particular interest that any councillors would like us to try and drill out of our report, and we do gather a lot of information, but regrettably sometimes extracting that information can be quite difficult, particularly if he's looking to drill it down to a ward level, which is something I think we discussed that previously. But if anyone's got any questions, any points, want anything clarifying, I'm happy to do so.
Sarah.
Thank you very much for the report. I really enjoyed reading the variety of case studies that shows the sort of cross-section of the different cases that you deal with. And you sort of touched on it there about housing. What would you say the main housing issue is?
There's some disrepair, and equally access to just people, and it's something that we find across the whole of the patch really. People looking, and usually it's kind of young people looking to move into accommodation, or the accommodation that they've got is no longer suitable. Remember, we had a client who lived not very far from here. She'd moved into a flat, and it was the perfect flat. It was a decent bank property, and it was perfect for her. Then she had a child, and she
anyhow. And if, when there's a shortage of accommodation, it's easy for people to be a little bit protectionist and say, well, no, but you are adequately housed because there's such demand. So it will be disrepair, and that's not exclusively into the private sector. Sometimes there's people who aren't happy, often it's timing when it comes to repairs by social landlords. But there's a lot of just access to affordable, I guess that's the point I didn't make, affordable housing.
Yeah, thank you. So we definitely need more affordable and social housing on those types of applications. We'd like to see at Cheshire's. The other thing I noticed, the debts has gone up in the November general. I gather that's Christmas.
Well, we usually, that sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. There are generally, like I can generally predict that the quarter previous, prior to Christmas will be greater than Christmas. People, as a phrase I would use, can't promise Christmas. And therefore, debt, people, if they have got debt, generally push it to one side. And regrettably, some people will actually add to it because of the pressure of Christmas. So, no, there's no rhyme or reason to that really. We really certainly we can determine. We'd actually expect it to go down, and then the period after Christmas, we'll see a bit of a spike really.
Yeah.
That's generally the pattern that works. Doesn't always follow that, but generally that's what we say.
Lovely, thank you. I'm glad to see that you're also using the household support fund for the access with your help. I just want to say thank you to you and everybody at this advice for supporting all my referrals to you.
No, this is what we're there for.
Yes, Andy.
Just support Councillor Benway. Yeah, I work for a housing association, so the shortage is acute. We didn't build any for 20 years, so it's not surprising. And what we've got is aging, which is why we get disrepair. I think it is more challenging than ever to actually not just access, but access suitable accommodation. And it's not because we wouldn't like to give the right accommodation, we just don't have it. Is the honest truth in that. So I think the measures being taken by the current government actually bring back social housing development for the first time in 20 years. They'll start to alleviate the problem, but it'll take us 3-4 years at the best to start dealing with the issue. So your support to our citizens in this regard is really appreciated.
I think what compounds the issue around social housing is also right to buy, and that's
Yes.
always been the case as well. And that's why there's been a net reduction, isn't there, over the last 20 years.
Thank you. Well, I would hope that you know just how much we value you. We think you're fab. Your reports are always very informative, very interesting, and the support that you give to the residents, our residents, you know, is second to none. So thank you so much, as always. I shall move on to 7.3, Silk Museum. I think my piece of paper is fibbing to me because it says Claire Harding, but that's not, that's Hannah. So welcome.
Hello, yes. The first thing I've got to say to you as the Vice Chair of the Silk Heritage Trust is apologies for the absence of the Director, Dr. Claire Harding, who came down with something this afternoon. So, sudden illness, I don't know what it is, but I have her report. Have you all read this? Right, so Claire, before she was struck down, picked out some highlights for me. Apologies, I will just be reading them out because I didn't find out that I was going to be summarising the book for you till quite recently. full completion of the year's Weaver residences, and we're now reviewing how we continue to support this endangered craft and young people wanting to build careers in silk weaving. We've had a new ticketing and till system successfully launched in January, and that was a big deal for us. So we're now offering more affordable tour options, but also more ways to support the museum through upselling and donation options. We're carrying out some investment in the old Sunday school. We've had new security fitted throughout the building, and this is the first of several improvements for visitors and our tenants this year. And we've had 3 new young trustees that we recruited through the Kids in Museums charity with their help. Plus a new quantity surveyor and a new accountant trustee to strengthen our governance. So I think possibly the board is very nearly full up or at full strength. So those are the main highlights of what we've done. But there are a few things to mention of things that we have supported or have supported us. We have to mention the Elmer Trail, because it gave such a boost to our visitor numbers in the winter months. They were increased by 54% in December due to this and the Father Christmas events. And we can make a direct link with increased numbers in the museum tops as well. And we're very keen to participate in future initiatives like that one. We've also had a bit of reflected glory from Macclesfield Town Council's football success, because the museum's featured on BBC Breakfast and TNT coverage, and we're shortly going to be adding new items to our football collection to commemorate the event recently collected. And of course we've supported the lantern making and the Lunar New Year events in the town in recent weeks. So I'm not sure where this next bit's in the report. It's the things we are doing next section. Don't worry, it's very succinct. We're going to focus on bringing more tour groups to the museum in Macclesfield through targeted marketing and strategic partnerships with other museums and galleries in the area. And I believe that's the Silk Triangle initiative with Leek and Compton. And this is a shameless plug really. It's Women's History Month, and we're offering our largest programme of events to date. Exhibitions, talks, workshops, tours and activities for all ages, and lots of them are free, and that's a particularly good programme. We're actively supporting Macclesfield Textile Week in September 2026, and there will be a series of events across the summer and into autumn around the Bayer Tapestry, as we are the British Museum's regional partner. Following a consultation exercise with Macclesfield residents, our visitors, volunteers and team, we're now in the process of setting out our vision for the museum and mill over the next 3 to 5 years. We are looking forward to sharing that with the Town Council, along with our plan to bring in the 7-figure investment required in the next meeting. I don't know if you saw the Elmer Meets the Panda exhibition as part of that consultation. That was quite fun. So I'd just like to finish by saying thank you to Macclesfield Town Council for your continued support, which enables us to continue to deliver benefits to the people across Macclesfield, and just to let you know how much the support of our local authority means to us. So thank you.
Lovely, thank you.
Any questions? I don't know if I can answer them, but I can do my best.
Sarah.
Sorry to be the bearer of lots of questions. Thank you so much, Hannah. I'm really impressed with the footfall figures over Christmas. Everyone wants to see Santa, and Elmer was just an absolute joy, and so it wasn't about it now. And I think that shows that sort of collaboration between the town council, the museum, and then we've got other aspects of the town like the football and so on. With some of the children, something for everybody, and I think that's really important to see that you're linking in with other towns as well, and national, international, depending on where you think the various tapestry should be kept. A couple of things I want to ask is, tell me about the home education sessions, because I know some people do teach the children at home. And the other thing I was going to, if you want to answer that, and I'll ask another question.
Well, I'm not sure I can tell you in detail.
No.
They come with their carers to the museum and are educated, and more than that, I have to find out.
Okay, so I'll have to come along. I'll come and have a nose. And the other one was, I was really impressed that you discovered a trade union called amongst the old cars. I've got my dad's trade union called a little tin after it passed. I've always been after trade unions, so I wondered if you had any banners, sub-banners, trade union banners in the old car as well. I've seen the suffragette one.
I'm not doing very well with
No, don't worry about it.
I'm
Go away and research and tell us what to say.
Noted, all right.
Not a problem, thank you.
Yeah, one of the reasons we need our seven-figure investment is because we are acutely aware that it's really embarrassing at a silk museum where our conditions are not good enough to display silk. So even if there is a banner, it won't be on display because the humidity is up and down like that, and no reasonable museum would risk it. So we've got to sort our buildings out before everyone can see as much silk as they want.
So if you're out there, please donate.
David?
Yeah, two little things, if I may. One is, have you thought, I'm sure you have thought of it, of having like a rover ticket where people can visit a number of different sites for an inclusive price. So when they're visiting the area, they can go to Jodrell Bank and Style Mill and the Silk Museum and so on. That's one thing.
I'm not sure we are able to do exactly that, but with Lincoln Congleton, the Silk Triangle, that is exactly what we're thinking. So not the two venues you mentioned, but slightly, I guess, further from the Manchester Conservation venues. Absolutely. Yeah.
The other thing is, you were saying about encouraging tours and trips to the museum and so on. I do wonder what enthusiasm there is, probably from Cheshire East, about people coming from other areas of Britain and from abroad and so on. I know I took up with Cheshire East the question, there was a TV programme recently about what is Cheshire or something like that. It wasn't very good, I mean, personally. But I was told that it wasn't in the interest of Cheshire East to advertise it or whatever, because the algorithms were not right and people wouldn't find it on social media about Cheshire, other social medias in London or whatever. I just wonder how we sort out to encourage tours to come, and especially foreign tours.
Well, I think we may be dialing down a little on the foreign tours, because we used to rely very heavily on the US textile ladies coming in a coach, popping into Quarry Mill, popping into us, and doing a circuit like that. And that, I think, has dropped off significantly since COVID. So rather than rely exclusively on that again for our visitor numbers, it is places like women's institutes and towns, women's guilds, and groups like that are the ones that we are going to target with our marketing. I don't know how much into algorithms they are, but I think what might help us is one of our new young trustees is in fact an officer at Quarry Bank Mill, so we've got now a direct link there.
Good.
So joining up with the mill is a possibility, though. I don't know if the National Trust will go for joint ticketing because they're so, such a massive organisation.
Yeah.
But certainly joint group tours, that's a thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Lovely, that's great. Thank you so much. 7.4. Wow, shocker. CCTV, nobody here?
No, nobody here.
We have had the report that I shall presume you've all looked at. Has anybody got any questions? I'm not quite sure who you're going to ask the questions to, but you're right there. Yeah.
Sorry. I can hear, did you want to finish?
Before you
Yeah.
go.
I I did want to ask some questions because there's some significant rises in figures concerning to significant increases with ASB, drugs, alcohol, theft and violence. And I also wanted to ask it gives a broad example of what council service requests are, but why that sort of more than doubled, in fact tripled in the last quarter. But I suppose we could email those figures, those questions I'll send to the town clerk, if that's okay.
I just wanted to raise my concern that once again no one's here. As Councillor Bennett-Waker said, we can ask those questions, but we make a significant contribution to pay for the CCTV facilities in Macclesfield. And when we first did it and we listened to the benefit of that for the residents of Macclesfield, certainly I was impressed with how it was possible to track people on their own, keep an eye on people from afar. We had a situation, I remember, with Councillor Walcott when there was an altercation in the marketplace out here, and the CCTV came really quickly, didn't they? The police came really quickly. It was a good pick it up on the CCTV. Do you remember? No, it was a while ago.
I can't remember.
No, but the point is that we're paying for the CCTV. The facility's there to keep people safe. We heard from Inspector Hack earlier about the issues they are dealing with in the town centre. Like Councillor Barber and Councillor Livingstone, I've had emails from residents around the area here, which the police are aware of, but in making inquiries, I didn't really get a very satisfactory response. The response I got was, we've sent in a member inquiry, we haven't had a reply. Well, any Cheshire councillor does know that when you send in a member inquiry, you don't sit back and wait for something to happen. You have to be on it to get a response. So I am quite concerned that we're not really able to ask questions, or, I mean, the figures are interesting per se, but I'm not really entirely sure what exactly they're telling us without some narrative and a person to go with them. And my experience generally of raising a query regarding these issues, as others have done, is that you don't get a satisfactory response.
Couldn't agree with you more, and absolutely share your frustrations. I wonder if perhaps we should
I think we should go meet
I'll put my teacher on.
the boss.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we will do that and then feedback.
Thank you.
Thank you. 7.5, the library visitor information centre. This is Vicky. Hello.
I'm very pleased to be here. Thank you for inviting us.
We're very pleased to have you.
I think you've all got the reports, so I won't go over the reports of the stats, but it was really just to say we've been up to 12 months now since we formalised our relationship with Blacktown Council and incorporated the visitor information centre into the library, and I feel like we've really benefited from that relationship, not just in terms of the Elm Trail was great, it's definitely increased our footfall, but actually the relationship with Abby and Laura, especially in being connectors to other services, that I've got like a shared mission statement and shared goal for things. It's been really useful for us, and it's also been really useful to have the conversations of just sounding things out with people that aren't within the library service. It's been really useful for us. So all UK public libraries have got 5 universal offers, and we try and shine a light on different ones each year and have a focus for it. For this year, our focus is culture and creativity. Reading is obviously one of them, and children's offers one. Education, lifelong education is another, so it's all different ones. But culture and creativity is what we're focusing on this year. With that in mind, we've got all sorts of different activities that we are putting on, including right now within the library we've got Illuminate, Arts Council funded STEM activity happening, which we've done 6 weeks of activities with children from Macclesfield, and we have now just started 6 weeks of activities with young adults and adults. So and the collaboration together with 3 shows in the last season that were really successful. We've got a new one coming on the 30th of April, which is a lady called Ling Peng. She's going to be bringing stories and songs with the Erhu for the Chinese, with Chinese culture in mind. It's going to be an amazing show, and we've got History Wardrobe coming in. We're really trying to make use of all of the spaces that we've got in the library. We've got an amazing theatre area that it's got a dividing wall that makes it into 2 meeting rooms, but it's also got, what are they called? Extendable seating. Bleacher seating. Tiered seating, thank you. So we've got a show called History Wardrobe coming in. We make money off those. We are also renting out one of our rooms to 3 different banks. So we've got Barclays and Halifax and Lloyds in currently. We've secured Santander for another one. We're trying to do everything we can to raise our income and make sure that we are sustainable. The Visitor Information Centre moving in has been really helpful with that. We're trying to formalise agreements with all of the suppliers. The amount that we get in commission is very different for different groups. We're trying to make sure that we're fair to everybody, as well as making sure that we make some income from them. So we'll be doing a 12-month review of where we're at with that. But just to give you some figures, over December we made about £4,000 in sales. So for lots of the suppliers we do 20% commission, but for ticket sales we only charge 5% commission, especially if they're community groups and things like that. So we've really got a big job to work out what we're going to do moving forward, to try and make that as fair to everyone as possible. We get between 10 and 25 inquiries a day. That includes sales that we are counting as visitor information inquiries. So that also includes things that we would have previously had as library inquiries as well. So lots of transport inquiries, lots of local walks and local visitor attractions, alongside where to eat and where to stay and those kind of things. So for library figures, we continue to be really busy. In December we had 12,000 people through the door. In January we had nearly 12,000. Our total for the year from March to now is 133,500. In January alone we issued about 20,000 individual items, and in February we joined 250 new borrowers, which is an increase on 8% from last year. So we're really hoping to carry on our relationship with Mactown Council, both with funding and with all of the other things that we're being able to bring together to make happen. And I think it's really useful coming to things like this so that I can hear about other agencies that are addressing shared priority.
That was fab. Thank you.
Any questions?
It was really lovely to see your passion for the library, so thank you very much. Do we have any questions, folks? It's all right.
Yeah, just to say thank you for everything that you do at the library. I have worked in a library before. In the early 2000s when libraries were called Street Corner University. Previously at government. I'm glad that you come tonight because you see what other people are doing, so it's making those connections again, what's available locally. And the other thing, I was listening to a programme on Radio 4, it is the National Year of Reading, and there was a professor on saying that brain development increases with reading and your ability to analyse and question and form new ideas. And in a world of screens, which was I found very interesting, that when you're reading on screen you tend to just skim and scan, whereas you to do deep reading, it has to be, I refuse to say it, so if you're not already a member of the library, please go and join and get a book, or your children to join
But I should also mention that this beautiful building that we've got, which is a listed building and has so many different spaces that are suitable for so many different uses, does need quite a lot of work doing to it. So we are waiting for our roof to be fixed because we've had quite a lot of leaks, and we haven't had any heating for 3 weeks, which is not ideal because we are supposed to be a warm place. So it does come with its challenges, especially because it's a listed building. But we feel really strongly that it's a really suitable place for us, and we would like to stay.
Yes, Andy.
Just similar to other comments Councillor made, just thank you. I think the library is very welcoming, and it is a hub. And I think compared to the libraries when I was growing up, it was always very, very quiet. Yours is happily noisy, particularly on a Saturday morning, having been there. I think that's to be commended because you're getting kids in to read books, and that does help their development. And given my dad was a firm believer in education, he was a lecturer, and that's what he believed, that it develops your brain. I don't know if he succeeded with me, but I think that goes through.
Thank you. I will share that with the staff every time.
David.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm interested, you mentioned about the hub and banking hubs and so on in one room. Can you expand on that at all? Are there other banks interested in coming to us? What about building societies? Are they going to be on 1 day a week or spread over several days? Does each bank have a 1 day in the room? Can you tell us a little bit more?
So we currently have them in what used to be the IT suite. So we have a work club in the library 2 days a week that's run by Springboard. They used to be in that area. They needed somewhere that was private and confidential, that was lockable, that had good Wi-Fi. And so we currently rent it out. We've got a long-term contract with Barclays. They have it 3 days a week. They've got a right to occupy contract that's all formally signed. We have Lloyds and Halifax 1 day a week, and they rent it on a month-to-month basis, but we have had them in for a year or more now. So that only left us 1 day left really, Friday, which Santander approached us for, which we've just agreed to lease to them for 1 day a week. So the only other time anybody could come into that same room is Saturday morning now. So we've really maximised that space as much as we can. If they wanted to hire another meeting room, that would have knock-on effects with a lot of our regular room hirers that do yoga once a week for 2 hours, or we have a writers group that are in for 2 hours and things like that. So it would really knock those out if we hired more rooms. We'd have to create more rooms, which wouldn't be that difficult.
Thank
The
you.
area that's cordoned off because we've got a big leak actually would be a room if we just put a wall up and a door on it. So
Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you ever so much.
thank you very much.
We're now at the end of the community delivery bit of the agenda, so do feel free to go. Thank you. Right, we'll go backwards now to 3 minutes of the full council meetings. So we've got the 15th of December and the 2nd of February. The action is to approve the minutes. I'm happy to propose them. Will anyone second them?
Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Wilson. I'm going to presume that everybody's read them. Do we have, in fact, actually, let's just vote on them. All those in favour? Thank you. Any
Are you approving the 15th of December?
I was doing them both. Would you like me to do them separately, A left?
I wasn't here on the 15th of December.
Okay. Well,
I don't think
I think it
will.
may be better or beneficial to take them separately due to...
okay. The 15th of December. Everybody raise your hand. Thank you. Any abstentions? The 2nd of February. All those in favour? Any abstentions?
Only there for part of the meeting, so
Yep, fab, thank you. Agenda item 4, matters arising from the minutes. Are there any matters arising? No, I thought there was a sneaky hand going up then, but it wasn't. No, okay. Agenda item 5, planning committee. This is to note the planning committee minutes from the 17th of December and the 11th of February. Are we happy to say that we have noted said minutes? And are there any matters arising from said minutes? Nope. So that's 5-1, 5-2, 5-3. Finance committee. Agenda item 6.1, to note the minutes from the finance committee. Are we happy to say that we have noted?
Yeah.
Are there any matters arising? Nope. 6.3, to approve the spend to date. So we need to vote on this. The spend to date of £788,193 as approved by the Finance Committee on the 9th of February. I presume you would like to propose. Could I have a seconder? Councillor Will. Oh, Chris, I called you Councillor. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Smashing, that's unanimous. Thank you very much. Agenda item 8, governance review. 8.1, ward budget guidance, and 8.2 is Mayor's Civic Awards policy. These both need voting on. Does anyone have any objections to us taking them together? No, fabulous, thank you very much. Do I have a proposer for this? Thank you, Sarah. And a seconder? Oh, I'll second it. Is that all right? Fabulous. We'll go to the vote then, unless anybody... All those in favour, please raise. That's everybody, unanimous, thank you very much. Agenda item 9, meeting schedule. To approve the meeting schedule. Could I have a proposer, please? Oh, I'll do it. Could I have a seconder, please? Thank you very much, Sarah. All those in favour? Unanimous, thank you very much. Agenda item 10, parks and play areas. This is to discuss the recommendations. So, would anybody like to say anything on this? Do you want to say anything? You've written the report, haven't you,
Yes.
Laura?
So I asked Cheshire East to give us the recommendations of what they saw as priorities in green spaces in Macclesfield, because we were a bit behind, i.e. on money we were spending and the work wasn't being done. Like for instance, we've just finished Titherington and that was actually not last year's money, the year before. So we're trying to get a little bit ahead. They did a great job, I thought, of going out and checking out all the spaces, which are in the appendix 1, which lists all the spaces, and then they put what they saw as priorities with what you could spend. So it's a bit of a pick and mix, and it's also, you don't have to do this at all. You can choose other areas, but it gives you guidance of where they see what might be useful. There's 110,000 in the budget currently, with an extra 2,000 because there was an underspend on Titherington. So if we carry that over to next year, there'll be 112,000. So it's a kind of, might not be an answer today, it might just be a discussion and further looking at it. But they came up with the 5 priorities. I would recommend you don't consider at this point Sparrow Park because of the ASB. Our rangers, and I will catch up with Inspector Hack, but the bins were set on fire recently and flags are actually being dug up and taken out. So to spend anything there at the moment until that is resolved wouldn't perhaps be sensible. So,
and I tend to agree with that. I think there's a question of whether, because of the problem, we have to see a CCTV camera there. Probably because this is being ongoing for
yes.
years.
Now,
Sparrow Park.
I think there is a CCTV camera now. That's what we're trying to get to the bottom of.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Yes, Fiona.
I wanted to speak about a different point, if that's okay.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's just that I didn't know if other people wanted to speak about, I mean, I agree with the point being made by Councillor Livingstone about the Sparrow Park, because there is CCTV. Well, if other, I personally would like to speak about the Linear Park, but I don't want to jump in if there's other points being made about Sparrow Park. You want to sort of like deal
Okay.
with it one after the other. So if Councillor Edwards wants to speak about Sparrow Park, I'll wait and then speak about the Linear Park, please.
All right. Thank you. Was you about Sparrow?
If I may.
Okay.
This is historical, let's say, but quite a while ago there was vandalism in Sparrow Park and somebody emptied a whole tin of paint over the stonework there. There is a CCTV camera there and they couldn't find out who did it. There was no evidence whatsoever of it actually being them catching the people who did it. But it is an ongoing problem, I bet. Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah, did you want to talk about Sparrow Park?
No.
Okay. Did you want to talk about the Herdsfield bit?
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, two things. One to mention, it's my spell checker does it as well. It's Herdsfield, not Huddersfield. In the papers, always does that. And the other thing is there is that concern about antisocial behaviour and people ripping up the soft flooring in there. And the other issue with what was like a little tarmac area to learn how to ride your bicycle. So some people have asked for parking there, but it's too close to housing, to be honest. I would like to have a look around there with someone and hopefully get residents to resurrect the Friends of Banbury Park before any works were agreed there. You know, I need a regular police officer and I need to resurrect that group because there's no point in spending money on it. And this is absolutely no disrespect to those people who use that park. But you go over to Victoria Park at Herdsfield, and I know I'm being parochial, but this is the town council, is immaculate. But Banbury Park isn't, and I think as a community and with the support of the police and residents, we need to get back to looking after the park, because it did have a big investment on the Mugger and drainage and so on, and it does need some tender loving care. I'm getting my letters mixed up. I've not had my tea yet. So yeah, I think the money does need spent on it, but we need to sort out some issues first.
Okay, thank you. Fiona.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to speak about the Linear Park. Petunia Grove, although it's known locally as the Yellow Brick Road. That's what residents, if you hear people talking about the Yellow Brick Road, that is the path they are talking about, but officially its Sunday name is the Linear Park. And for those of you that can't bring it to mind, it runs from opposite where the Flower Pot pub is, all the way through behind the houses on Petunia Grove and Craig Road. And then it joins up with Moss Lane, but it also goes across Central Ward and joins up with the back of College Court. So it's one of those projects that would have benefit for residents both in Central Ward and in Macclesfield South Ward, which I'm a firm believer in trying to do. We did that with the Windmill Street Park. It was very beneficial both to Macclesfield South and to Macclesfield East wards, and we invested the money into a project that would benefit the most numbers of residents. I think that the proposal of £91,000 for the work that's being suggested, I think we need to look at that. Now, I don't think we should be putting up £91,000 into it. I don't think you can justify that, because I'm also a great believer in spreading the love around and that other wards get the benefit of. We've done the big projects, haven't we? We've worked our way to the big projects. But I think with the Yellow Brick Road and the suggestions there, I think there could be some really nice enhancements there. I personally, although I stand to be corrected, am not particularly keen on the gym equipment, £20,000 on gym equipment, because I spend a lot of time in South Park, and there's gym equipment and a trim trail in South Park, and you very rarely see people using it, either in the summer or in the winter. So I'm not convinced that that would need to be doing. But the other issues there, I think we should, particularly the new entrance feature to the Moss Rose end, because those of you that know the area really well, it does get very muddy and underwater for a significant part of the year, because there is in fact a path that goes from behind there across through the allotments, which we are maintaining, and they are part of our portfolio of allotments. So I think we need to look at a smaller, I would like us to look at a smaller proposal. Clearly we need to have a conversation with the South Wood councillors and the Central Wood councillors, because it's actually it's a really quick way of getting across the area. I mean, it's safe, and it's kids use it to get to school. I would prefer to walk off road if I can, for obvious reasons. So the only other thing I wanted to raise, if we could please ask Cheshire East Council, Laura, is that I have in my mind, and I may have just imagined this, but I have in my mind that there was Section 106 monies. There's been a lot of building on Moss Lane. Anybody who goes along Moss Lane will see there isn't a single green space left on there now. It's all been built over. So we did have some Section 106 monies, Mayor, for the Rotherhead Drive Park, and the Town Council did work with Cheshire East Council to refurbish that. In fact, one of the benches was moved from our ward over by Thornton Square to this area, so it was a collaborative project. But I think we should do some more work on this. I don't think we should be spending £91,000, because I think that there are things that you could easily take out. But can we please ask Cheshire East Council if there are any Section 106 monies that could go with this? Because if we can get some funding towards the linear park, the Elbert Road, that would mean there will be more money to go to the other proposals. So I would definitely ask. The problem with Section 106 monies is that in the past, when Section 106 agreements were drawn up, they're not specifically open enough. They'll say a new piece of equipment for West Park. There was a situation at the Old King's School where there was a proposal for equipment to go into the leisure centre, which is a very long way away from the build, and we challenged that. We had a new piece of equipment put in West Park, as I recall, although it was a while ago now. So I think that we need to be having a think about doing this project, and the benefits the two wards, but I think there are some elements we can take out of it, and I'd like to just ask that question. Is there more other funds for this from all the many houses that are now along the south side of Moss Lane that, when I first moved there, had no houses on them at all?
Thank you. Mick?
Thanks, yeah, I want to speak on the linear park as well. I think it's a great example when you say to Cheshire East, what would you like us to give you money to do? And £30,000 for creating wildflower meadows is outrageous, absolutely outrageous. 20,000 for gym equipment. I've constantly spoken against gym equipment trim trail because people don't use it. They do on holiday in Spain where it's sunny and there's a cafe nearby, but not in soggy Macclesfield. And a willow arch seating area for 10 grand. You know, these are like if we were in different times and we had massive reserves, happy days, but we haven't. You know, I think I know the path very well. My mother lives up there. I use it regularly in the summer when I walk up to see her. It's a nice place. It could be enhanced, but it needs to be done proportionately. So I would support what Fiona's saying. It's a good scheme, but it needs to be reined back considerably and get value for your money. And if Cheshire East are keen on doing that, like Fiona says, get some of that Section 106 general funds to put in their £30,000 wildflower meadow. Thank you.
Sandy, did you? No. Ella?
Thank you. I have on the Western Little, the ward is the Western, there's an already established bird sanctuary for years. When it needs refurbishment, go? Do I come to the town council or to Cheshire East? Because the land belongs to Cheshire East, and I seem to be going between the two and not getting anywhere. To whom do I go for any kind of refurbishment that seems necessary at the moment? To the town council or to Cheshire East? Because Cheshire East says it's landscaping, whatever that is. So do I come here or do I go there?
Cheshire East.
You go to Cheshire East.
Cheshire East are responsible for the parks, and the money in this budget that we give is given in grants for certain projects. The overall responsibility is Cheshire East Council for all parks.
Okay, okay.
And it may be a lift that they can't afford something, and it might be that the town council ends up giving them a grant to do something towards that project. But always in the first instance, we will go to Cheshire East, especially if it's maintenance type things.
You go to Cheshire East?
Yes.
Town council's not to do with it.
Chris?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd just like to pick up a point that Councillor Wilson's mentioned about the Section 106 money. Obviously, there has been house building across the whole of the town. Can we not approach Cheshire East Council and see which other areas that we can get Section 106 money to be able to assist us to do quite a lot of valuable work in our parks and players? Is that something we can look into?
Absolutely.
Thank you. I wanted to, did you want to?
I just wanted to make one further point, if that's okay, please, that Nick's comments made me think about. I don't believe we spent £30,000 on wildflowering roundabouts in Macclesfield and the area near the old King's School. We just didn't. We didn't do that. And, my eyebrows were raised when I saw that. So I suppose the other thing is there a possibility of us working with our rangers on this as well? Because in terms of the area concerned, and Mick does know it well, to put in a wildflower meadow with paths and mown pathways, it's not a particularly large piece of land. It's probably smaller than the footprint in this room. But the other issue that Councillor Wilcock has mentioned is that there is always building going on. It is what it is. And we do need affordable and starter homes and social housing. And I think what we all need to be talking to our Cheshire East councillors, so I'll talk to myself about it, but when building takes place, what we can do as ward councillors is make sure that we talk to the planning officers about what we want in the it's a bit like the point I mentioned earlier about the King's School, where a piece of equipment was proposed to go in the leisure centre, which is miles away from, so I think as ward councillors we should be more proactive about this, and we have raised it, but I think it's just something to think about, because with the Wimble Street Park we had a terrible loan job, didn't we, because of the Section 106 monies were allocated such a long time ago for something so specific. To unpick the knitting on it when we wanted something different was actually quite complicated, and it shouldn't be like that. It's supposed to be public access open space for the public and the children of the borough to enjoy,
Yeah. I was struck when I read this report, and I've had a conversation with Laura about it. Obviously none of it's into anything, and I wouldn't dream of telling any other councillor what they need or don't need in their ward. You tell me. But I added it up. I took out Sparrow Park, because I agree entirely with that. I added it up, and you're looking at somewhere in the region of £300,000 if you were to do all the things that are listed now. I appreciate that people are saying they don't necessarily want to do all the things, or we want to remove things. But when we did Titherington, and I came back to town council for more money, and you were all very lovely and said yes, and I say Titherington, I mean West Park, Cheshire East matched. Now, I don't know where that money came from, but what we put in, they put in. So I don't see why we can't do all of these things, but they need to match whatever we put in. Because there's nothing stopping us, I don't think, as a town council. We have 110. If it was 300,000, half of that is 150. We can increase ours if it means that we get to make all these areas in all these wards lovely. But I think it's really important that, like people have said, we find out about S106 or any funding that they match, however they choose to pay for it, and that the councillors, the ward councillors, are able to say, actually they're all a bit ridiculous, but we want this, this and this, and we get costings for that. I would suggest. Yeah, sorry, Sarah.
Sorry, Madam Mayor, I was just going to ask, do we need to decide on this tonight, or can we go
No.
away and...
So what I propose, well, what I would suggest is they're being asked to do a bit further research. If the ward councillors of these particular parts can we have a look, feature residents, see what's important. I'll find out about any extra funding and an extra S106, and I'm going to get the Rangers to go and look at that while
Yes, please.
anyway, because if they can do that anyway as part of Bloom, that would be a really nice part, a new part of Britain and Bloom as well. So we'll see how much they would factor in their wages and, you know, some seeds. So I'll do those things and then I'll come back to it.
Lovely, thank you very much, Laura. Thank you, everybody. Okay, agenda item 11, community buses. This is to consider the proposal in the report. Do you want to say anything?
Just that you can see that every time we get asked a lot more now when have you got a free bus this weekend, etc. Ferrying people round town for free is because they don't have to pay. Subsidised by the town council is working in conjunction with everything else. We've seen massive growth in the footfall in town, which was what it was kind of designed for, and also the well-being of our residents to be able to do that. We're seeing 30 to 40% increase on the bus, which is great, and the prices have gone up, but I kind of think we're a victim of our own success there because more people are using the buses, therefore the cost of subsidising the bus has gone up. Money is still in the budget and community transport reserves for that amount, and we want to look. Costa sponsored the bus at Christmas. We want to get a proper sponsorship policy out to offer more sponsorship opportunities for the buses.
Thank you very much. Do we have a proposer for this?
I'm happy to propose it.
Thank you, James, and a seconder. Thank you, Sarah. Does anybody have any comments, or shall we just go to the vote, folks? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Smashing, unanimous, thank you very much. Agenda item 11, strategic plan update. This is just to note. I'm going to presume that everybody's had a look at it. Has anybody got anything they want to say, or can we just work on the basis that we have noted the strategic plan update? We've noted it, thank you very much. Hello. Go on.
We'll be covering this at the annual town meeting as well at Town Street, so all residents can come along and see how well we're achieving against the plan. It'll be updated on the website.
Lovely, thank you ever so much. Agenda item 13. Now I need to check if I've got these in the right order because they've all changed. This one's correct, South Park Pavilion. An update report for council. Is this you, Sandy, or would you like it not? Laura?
If you want to start, then I will supplement.
So as we're getting closer to drawing down the loan, which is the 2nd of June, there is certain things that need to line up. So we have a lease, which I think is nearly there with a few points, and the South Park Pavilion working group have that lease to look at. I've gone through it with solicitor, and I think it's nearly there. We have a licence to work, which I've started working with the solicitor on, and I think that again should be there by end of month April. So we'll have those two things. They are two of the things that need to be lined up. We then are going to tender for a contractor. That has to happen. We have to have that tender approved at full council May the 18th. And we've got some planning amendment and considerations that need to be, they've gone into Cheshire East, they need to be approved. And then on May the 18th we can come to the meeting and say, we've got the lease, this is the tender, contractor, we're going to draw down the loan.
So in order to do all that, that's the timescale. There's we now have the need to get a commercial solicitor. Our solicitor that is looking at the lease and licensed to work for us is not the right kind of solicitor to do the contract for the building work, etc. So we've had a couple of quotes, and that's going to be approximately £8,000. And obviously that will ensure that everybody, you know, the council's indemnified, everybody's got the correct insurance, etc. So that's why it costs so much. And we have a mechanical and electrical designer for £22,500 to design all the insides and electrics. And I'll pass this to Councillor Livingston at this point.
So just in terms of where we are preparing to go to tender again on a redesigned building. The building's being redesigned, but one of the guidance I've given the council and the working group is it needs to be a full design, because if you have a full detailed design, you're more likely to get a good price from the contractor. The more risk there is, the higher the price you will get, generally speaking. So the foundations and the structure have been redesigned. This is about designing mechanical and electrical systems, which generally are about 40% of the cost of a building. So it's a sensible thing to get somebody to design it for us, so the contractors can price it properly and give us a bit more confidence. The other thing is we need to formalise all the appointment documents for all the consultants we've got. I think the third thing is that there's a body of work that has to be done to make sure that that's all coordinated. Somebody is managing construction works and coordinating that, and the building is ready to actually be fitted out and operate. So the other recommendations to appoint a project manager to do that. So I think we'd like to thank Laura for taking us this far. I think it's unreasonable to expect her to do that as well, given the amount of work that will come over the next 7 months when the project goes live. So that's 3 things that have been recommended to you. I will continue to support the town clerk with some of this work. It's not an unusual thing to do. I think it will also protect the council properly as and when it decides to proceed with the construction. I think the last thing for me is that this is an opportunity to give something to the town. It's been a long time in the making. It is not an easy project to realise. The fact that we've actually got this far is a testament to the work of the council staff. And I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you, Sandy. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Sarah?
Just to ensure that we've got all the planning permissions and everything we need for Cheshire East in a timely manner.
We need to encourage them.
Yes, so if you know, anyone from Cheshire East is listening, you need this in a timely manner. It's a gift to the people of Macclesfield.
A similar conversation with my own team at work this morning. So I think encouraging the planning department to release those outstanding conditions would be greatly appreciated if anybody from Cheshire is listening at the moment. Hint.
Lovely. Thank you. Thanks, Sandy. Thanks, Laura. Agenda item 14. Oh, sorry. Oh. Okay. Can I have a proposal, please?
I'm happy to propose.
And thanks, Fiona. All those in favour? A-Lift, are you voting?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, thank you. Unanimous. That's all right. Lovely, thank you. Agenda item 14, Public Art Trail. Laura.
At services last week, it was agreed or approved to get another Elmer-style trail. Done a little bit on the footfall. We've seen today, this evening, we've had 2 partners who really praised having this trail. They've both done excellent jobs of, I know the library had managed to turn people coming in to see in the library into you need to join up and
get books from us, so it's been win-win really. And the footfall, I think, went up by 18% in the first week or something. Footfall in December went up overall, and we know, as you know, that the footfall will go up. We put an event on, or if we sponsor an event, our footfall will go up now, but it went up quite a lot more on other days. We're making the judgment that this is, a lot of it is down to the salmon trail. So we want to do it again this Christmas, and in order to do it, we have to book it, because they go really quickly. It's another one, it's different. Don't want to say what it is, because I'd like it to be a surprise for the town, but I can send pictures to councillors. It will be £32,500, which seems a lot, but we think that footfall, what it did for the town, it was worth it, and it will come from a budget we called special projects, which are things that we would pick up throughout the year. That we didn't know we wanted to do at the beginning, that we decided we thought we'd do during, so that's the proposal. And it was approved by the Services Committee, but they can only approve up to 10,000.
Yes, lovely, thank you. Do I have a proposer? Thank you, Sarah, and a seconder? Chris, thank you. Would anybody like to say anything on this, or yes, Chris?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So yeah, Laura did share with us the images of the trail. Obviously, I'm not going to say anything on the film. It just goes to show the positive reaction, not just from residents in Macclesfield, but the fact that we reached out to towns and cities in our local area, the amount of people that came to see the Elwood Trail. I think this will have just as much a lasting effect on people. Hopefully those visitors that came in spending the money logging on to the Town Council social media, seeing this one hopefully coming into Macclesfield this year. I think it's a positive thing that we can do.
Thank you. Sarah?
Apart from bursting with excitement about this one again, as any, I know we've got really good quantifiable evidence about footfall and how it impacts on, for example, Silk Museum and the library and so on. Do we have any evidence from businesses how, even if it's anecdotal, how that is affected their businesses with the increased footfall?
So we do have anecdotal stuff which we collect after, and there was bits in the Elmer report. It might not be in this one, it might have been in the one that went to Cheshire Youth Services, of how people leaned in, those who leaned in and joined in the trail, etc., did well from it. A lot of them had the badges, so you had to go into their shop to get the map, and you had to come back and get the badge. We can only lead people into your shop. We can't sell your goods for you. So those who had done that did very well. And actually at the town meeting, we've got the chair of Totally Locally coming, who owns Armageddon, Tattoo and Piercing. She says every time we do an event, she has quantifiable evidence that her income and her appointments go up every day. And we think it's because she does a lot of children's ear piercing and things like that. But so we have got, she's coming along and she'll be able to tell you that. And lots of the shopkeepers, yes, they want to know, they're joining in. I think we had 60 shops on the trail this year, which is fantastic. And I had a very interesting meeting with the Wilmslow bid people, who told me very excitedly that trails did very well apparently. And I was like, well, we know trails do very well because we've been doing trails. So we've gone from maybe 20, 5 years ago, 20 shops joining in, to 60 joining in. And also got people joining in like dentists and libraries, and so that kind of, anybody can join in type thing, it's not just a certain thing. So definitely something I want to see more of, but it's difficult for people, they could give you a percentage increase maybe, but we're always collecting that and we will continue to do our best to collect more.
Thank you so much, and thanks for everyone who joined in.
Lovely. Okay, we'll go to the vote. All those in favour? Unanimous. Thank you very much. Okay, before I move to the last item, which is 15, the date and time, I'd just like to tell you that I have a date and time for my mayor's ball this year. So it will be Saturday the 16th of May. I say ball, do, bash, whatever you want to call it. Chance to wear a pretty sparkly frock is what it is, and raise loads of money for cardiac risk in the young and Friends of Park Lane Special School. But Saturday the 16th of May at the Titherington Club. So it'd be fabulous to see as many of you there as possible. Thank you very much. Agenda item 15, the date and time of the and place of the next meeting. The next meeting for council will be held on the 18th of May 2026 at the town hall here. Thank you very much.